Hello everybody, welcome to Fractions Review Day 2. Today we're going to be focusing on fractions that are more than one whole. And if you feel a little bit lost or confused, please watch back Fractions Review Day 1. I'm going to leave these videos up to refer back to if you need some help. Okay, now this may look a little familiar. We did do this concept development together before school closed. But it's a really good review and I thought it was worth putting on here. I grabbed 2 oranges for lunch today. I cut each one into fourths so that I could eat them easily. So I have my 2 oranges here and it tells me that I cut it into fourths to eat them easily. So I'm going to do that. Fourths. And fourths is just 4 equal parts. If one orange represents one whole, so if this is one whole, how many copies of 1/4 are in one whole? What is the unit fraction? Remember, the unit fraction is what one piece is called. So how many copies of 1/4 are in just one whole? So just one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 copies of 1/4 and one whole. The unit fraction would just be 1/4 because that's what one piece is called. How many copies of 1/4 are in 2 whole oranges? 2 wholes. So I have these fourths still. I'm going to count my fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I feel that sometimes when we count how many pieces, we get a little confused and think, okay, now they're eighths. But the tricky thing is here, I have 2 different wholes. So my piece sizes are still fourths, but I have 8 of them. So in 2 oranges, I have 8 fourths, or 2 wholes of fourths. I was so hungry, I ate 1 whole orange and 1 piece of the second orange. Shade in the pieces I ate. So if you're doing this along with me, you can pause the video and try it on your own. You can do that throughout this video. I highly encourage it just so you can see if you're doing it correctly. I'm splitting these oranges into fourths again. And then I'm going to shade in 1 whole orange. That's how much I ate. I'm shading in 4 fourths, or 1 whole. And then I ate 1 piece of the second orange. So I'm going to shade that in as well. How many pieces did I eat? Well, if I count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And what is the size of each piece? Even though I have 2 wholes here, the size of each piece is still 1/4. So if I want to say how much I ate, I would say I ate 5 fourths. Now we have 5 fourths or 5 fourths. We can write it either way. I'm going to show this as a number bond. So I'm going to put 5 fourths up here. And excuse my handwriting, I'm going to try to write as neat as possible. And then how many fourths give me 1 whole? That's what I'm going to put in one bubble. So if I go up here, 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths give me 1 whole. So I'm going to write that here. 4 fourths give me 1 whole. And how many more fourths do I need to get 5 fourths? If I have 4, and how many more do I need to get 5? Well, 4 plus what gives me 5? 4 plus 1 gives me 5. So I really only need 1/4. And if we look up here, that's how it's kind of split up. We have 4 fourths and then just 1/4. So I have 5 fourths. We're going to practice this now with different piece sizes. So if I look at this bottom number here, the denominator, that tells me how big the piece is, how many equal parts. If I look at this, I have thirds. And I don't just have 1/3, I have 4 thirds. How many thirds give me 1 whole? So that's what's going to go in my first bubble. I'm going to show some thirds here. And if I look at this shape, how many thirds are going to give me 1 whole? 1, 2, 3 thirds give me 1 whole. Well, then how many more do I need to make 4 thirds? Well, 3 plus what gives me 4? This would be my extra whole here. I just would need 1 more third to give me 4 thirds. So I would put 1/3 here. And as you can see, my bottom number, thirds, that's the piece size. That stays the same. But my top number is what's being added. 3 plus 1 gives me 4. Okay, let's try this here. 7/6. Now 6 is my piece size, so I'm going to show that here. And if you want to draw 6, I recommend doing a line and then an X. And that's how I kind of think about it. It's not always perfect. Okay, how many 6 give me 1 whole? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 give me 1 whole, or fill in the whole thing. How many more 6 do I need to get 7/6? Well, 6 plus what gives me 7? That would just be 1. And remember, my bottom number stays the same. There's still 6. That's the piece size. I just need 1 more 6 to give me 7/6. Okay, a little more tricky this time. 7/5. Now, fifths, that's my piece size here. And to draw fifths, I like to do a star in the middle. Okay, fifths. How many fifths do I need to have 1 whole? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 5 fifths to give me 1 whole. Well, how many more fifths do I need to get 7 fifths? I have 5 here. How many do I need to get 7? Well, 5 plus 2 gives me 7. So I need 2 more fifths to give me 7 fifths. 5 plus 2 gives me 7. Okay, this is written a little differently, but we're doing the same thing. What's 1 more fifth than 1 whole? So my piece size is going to be fifths. Well, how many fifths are in 1 whole? We just found that out up here. It would be 5 fifths. So that's what I'm going to write. I need 5 fifths to make 1 whole. And then what is 1 more fifth? I'm going to add that on. And I'm just adding those top numbers. 1 more fifth than 5 fifths, or 1 more fifth than 1 whole, would be 6 fifths. Okay, a little more tricky. What's 3 more fifths than 1 whole? So I'm going to write 5 fifths again. So that's my 1 whole. I still have the piece size of fifths, but this time I'm adding 3 more fifths. And when I see the word more, that tells me I'm adding. So I'm adding 5 plus 3 to figure out how many fifths I have now. And my bottom number stays the same. So that's just telling me the piece size, or how many equal parts there are. 5 plus 3 gives me 8. So I have 8 fifths. Okay, what's 1 more eighth than 1 whole? Now my piece size is eighth, or how many equal parts I have. I'm going to draw that here. So to draw eighths, I draw fourths first, and then I split these up into half. I do an X, a plus, and an X. Okay, and then how many eighths do I need to get 1 whole? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eighths to give me 1 whole. Okay? And then it just wants me to do 1 more eighth. So I'm going to add that on. Now remember, I'm only adding the top numbers, 8 and 1, to give me 9 eighths. Okay, now I'm doing 5 more eighths than 1 whole. So I'm taking 8 eighths plus 5 eighths equals what? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 eighths would be 5 more eighths than 1 whole. Okay, now we did these before school went out and it was a little bit confusing, so I wanted to review again. 4/3. It wants me to draw 4/3. If I look here, I have 2 wholes. Okay, so I want me to divide up each whole into thirds. This is what's telling me how many pieces I have, how many equal parts there are. So thirds. I'm going to divide this first one into thirds. Second one into thirds. And now it wants me to draw or shade in 4/3. I'm going to shade those in. I'll change my color so you can see that easily. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I have 4/3. And if I had 3/3 for this one whole, plus 1 more third in the second whole, I would then have 4/3. Or another way of saying it is 4/3 in the written word. Okay, new one. 6/4. Okay, so fourths is the amount of pieces, the amount of equal parts I have in each whole. Okay, so I'm going to divide this first whole into fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm doing one less line to give me the amount of pieces. So 4 parts, I need 3 lines. Okay, now I'm going to shade in 6 of those fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have 4/4 over here plus 2 more fourths over here, which is going to give me 6/4, or I could also say it like this, 6/4. Okay, now I'm doing fifths. I got confused. I saw that 6 and I was going to say sixth, but I'm doing fifths. And I'm going to divide that up. If I'm doing 5 parts, then I'm going to draw 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now I'm going to shade in 6 of those pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, over here I have 5/5 or 1 whole plus 1/5 over here to give me 6/5. I'm just adding those top numbers, because the bottom number is telling me how many equal parts I have. And I can also say it like this, 6/5. Okay, this is my last one here. Okay, now I'm doing sixths. And if I want 6 equal parts, I'm going to draw 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of had to squeeze it in at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now I'm going to shade in 10 of those pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, over here I have 6 sixths plus 4 sixths. I'm just adding those top numbers. 6 plus 4 gives me 10 sixths, or 10 sixths. All right, everybody, thank you so much for following along with me. I'm very proud of you if you made it all the way to the end. I know it's pretty long. Okay, have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.